Hi, this is Dr. Scott. Today we're going to get into, do tariffs lead to IRS death, which leads to GESARA? Let me show you a little bit about that. So let's show you this first video. It's pretty darn funny here. So tariffs are killing the IRS with this.
Okay, so I said, I think we're going to cut $1 trillion a year.
Oops, sorry. Let me back it up here.
Right. Okay, so I said, I think we're going to cut $1 trillion a year in expense. And then I think we can, through tariffs and other means, we're going to get revenues of $1 trillion. Okay?
Incremental revenue.
Incremental revenue.
Yeah.
And we're going to balance the budget.
But all,
so let's just finish. Let's just finish Doge. So I'm in the car with him, right? And I said, we're going to balance the budget. And I said, but I have one favor to ask of you. If we can balance the budget for you, will you agree to waive all income tax for every person who makes less than $150,000 a year for the United States of America, which, by the way, is about 85% of America.
Right.
Right.
And the reason you want to work for Donald Trump is he looks at me and goes, sure. Like, you realize the President of the United States said, if you balance the budget, sure. And he's not lying. He's not kidding. He's like, yeah.
Okay, so I want you to understand who Howard Lutnick is. First off, he's a billionaire, so he's not talking about himself. Number one. Number two, Howard Lutnick is the Secretary of Commerce. So he is the tariff guy. So that's one interesting point. Number three, if he balances the budget, the IRS is no more. There is no reason for the IRS actually to exist. Forget about the $150,000 and beyond. See, that's just the statement that they want to say. The IRS will not exist. But that's just the narrative that they're telling you out front. Let's show you this one.
Tariff revenues are amazing, right? $700 billion a year. That's just net new money the government never had before. So you take that every year for 10 years, that's $7 trillion. And then what they're not counting is the way the president is smashing open these markets. You got every market, right? Japan, Indonesia, Vietnam, you name the deal he does, and he opens that market. That's going to have export growth, right? Never before has our ag and our industrials actually had access to these markets.
So there is a Democratic little moron on X who said Trump went to Scotland for $10 million. And I'm like, yeah, but he came back with a 1.5 billion or 1.3 billion or trillion dollars. Wait, he signed a $600 billion deal for arms, $750 billion for tariffs for 2 or 25%. Like, wait a second, that they have to like send us that. And they're actually going to start building big pharma in America under our new regulations that are coming. Wait for those to come. And they're going to actually build cars. For instance, they're going to build Fords in America. And you're going, wait, what? If you have ever been in Europe, and I have only been there once, so I'm sorry, but the streets, why would they ever build a Ford or have Fords or any of these other cars in Europe? The streets are small. You see, they've been messing around with them, and they've been built in other places. When in America, the streets are way bigger than any other place. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. Watch this one.
Did, and I would say they're much smarter than I am. They got to 750. I got to 750 as well. Howard Lutnick, who's a Commerce Secretary, said like anywhere approaching 750, we have a line of sight to be able to cut income taxes to zero for anybody making 150 or less. Whew.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I mean, so we're in the magic zone here, guys.
So here's
you know what I mean?
So there's
Think about it. These guys are the little normies here, and they're like, whoa, what?
a perfect example. Like, there's all this conversation about the midterms right now. Trump tanks the stock market. People get screwed over by what some people calling inflation, but like the price shock. But if you announce at the end of the year, there's a $750 billion surplus because of taxes, and we're eradicating income tax for people making under $150,000, midterms are going red.
I mean, bro, forget midterms. They'll want Trump for the third term.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I just think it's hysterical. I mean, and here's what happens. IRS is dead, and I never even believed the tariff was actually going to be the issue that was going to kill it. I thought it was going to be sales tax, but now I'm wrong on that one. So here's what I mean, these are just little tiny things that Trump has been putting out there. Historic trade with Europe, $750 billion. He just put this out here today. Deal maker and chief. This is messing these people up. Even CNN goes, that was a pretty big deal that he just did. Like, you think? But I want you to hear what the left is actually saying. This is their bulwark for this circumstance. This is so hysterical, it's not even funny. So listen to moron talk.
Know that there are donors that I'm sure are going to be willing to make sure that they are investing and making sure that they can take down some of these candidates since they don't want to rule out dark money. I'm sure some dark money gonna pour in on the behalf of the American people. So what I am saying is every tactic, as well as making sure we're touching people.
Wait, I want you to listen to it one more time here.
Also know that there are donors that I'm sure are going to be willing to make sure that they are investing and making sure that they can take down some of these candidates since they don't want to rule out dark money. I'm sure some dark money gonna pour in on the behalf of the American people. So what I am saying is every tactic, as well as making sure we're touching people. Also know that there are donors.
So let me show you on another screen here. I'm going to show you what dark money is in American politics. In elections. And I'm going to bring this up here on the screen because I want you to see this. It's hysterical. Sorry, it's got to bring it up here on the screen so you can kind of see it. So dark money refers to spending in elections where the source of money is not disclosed to the public. Nonprofit organization and shells that can donate to super PACs without the donors disclosing. Dark money lacks transparencies. Voters are unable to determine the sources. And this is like this mildest thing. Impact of dark money has significantly increased since the Citizens United versus FEC Supreme Court since 2010. What would 2010 be? Well, that would be the midterms during Obama's first time frame. In the 2024 election, the dark money spending nearly doubled in 2020 to $2 billion. Who is using super PAC? Democrats. They had a record amount of money, so they're telling you what they spend dark money for. And the rise of dark money has led to concerns about potential foreign interference in election. Hey, this is Google telling you, Google in their own wording, not Scott wording. That is Google telling you exactly what they say. That is, again,
Tariff revenues are amazing.
That's not Scott saying any of this kind of thing. And this is what we, the American public, say. Well, that's little, guess what? You know who that is, but you get the idea. And this is the only person who's interested in dark money. You think. But Jasmine is very interested in dark money because she thinks that she can get away with that kind of stuff. And we need to tell these people, no, you're not going to do it. And the answer is they're not going to do it. See, they're exposing themselves every single day. It's like they're walking around with just full on exposure, and you have to ask yourself, how are they doing this? But I want you to understand what's happening in the world. Europe is just signed a deal. China signed a deal. Japan has signed a deal. Brazil signed a deal. Most of the continent of Africa has signed deals. Mexico has done a deal. Canada's holding out a little bit. UK has signed a deal. Russia is playing around here, but you know what? Russia actually is on the good side. I know you don't think that Russia is actually on the good side here. There's nothing left. And I want you to understand this, because one thing I didn't catch, and there's so many things that I don't catch. I knew that we needed to have a one-to-one parity of the monetary sources when we go into a gold-backed currency, and it had to be worldwide. What if the tariffs are actually part of the parity of all the funds? So what if part of parity of America is parity with one another? And so instead of having this imbalance, a trade imbalance between nations, they instead have a tariff back and forth. What if tariff actually is part of GESARA? GESARA makes sure that Australia cannot be taken advantage by China. New Zealand cannot be taken advantage by Brazil. Brazil can't be taken advantage by Russia. Now, BRICS nations are all part of that kind of grouping, and they were trying to not be taken advantage by the world. And yet, Trump has been talking about that the BRICS nations are not going to be taking down the dollar. Well, we're not going to be on the dollar. We're going to be on the U.S. Treasury note. That's a code statement of, guess what? This is going to be better than you think. And Trump keeps putting out there this really interesting statement. August 1st, a great day for America. Why does he keep saying this? Why does he keep putting this out there? He has the opportunity to walk back that date. Why does he say this? Listen, I don't know. Today is July 31st. You're going to see this on August 4th. We'll see actually what happens. So I'm doing this a few days early. But what's actually going to happen? I don't know. I think this is going to be a fascinating statement. I might actually operate this on August 1st to see what actually occurs. Maybe we'll see what prophetic nature might come. But guys, be encouraged, because I do believe that we're moving from the tariff level of this and into the GESARA level of this. I think it's coming, guys. Just be encouraged. It's going to be okay. Thanks so much.